raw conversation.
Navigating the natural and theology, influencing people to find purpose and live with quality. We descended to Christ, just acknowledge me. The sacred scriptures tell us, throw down your nets, come and follow me. A leadership that's anointed and appointed. When leading God's people, sometimes you become disappointed. You do what you can, you do what you know. You give it to God and let it go, go, go.
Welcome to The Real with Ross. Today we get an opportunity to talk to Matthew Whitaker. He is a renowned musician and has been touring the country and world, sharing his gift. He is a blessing, and he is a part of our family here at New Hope, and especially loved and beloved by me. Matt, thank you for joining in today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So tell me a little bit about your story. Many don't know exactly all that you've survived and come through, so share some with us about what your story is like.
So I would say I was born 24 weeks premature, 1 pound 11 ounces, and the doctors gave me less than 50% chance of survival at an early age, and I had about 11 eye surgeries, and but I'm grateful that I'm here and doing what I love to do. And I started playing music when I was about 3 years old. My grandfather gave me my first keyboard at the age of 3, and I taught myself nursery rhymes. And I got into classical piano at the age of 5. I started receiving training at the FMDG music school for the blind and visually impaired. And at that time I started getting into other instruments, like drums, and through the years I've played clarinet and bass, and also the organ, hearing the organ a lot in church, and eventually becoming the organist, and I taught myself the organ at 9 years old as well.
Wow.
I've been traveling a lot. I'm now a minister of music at New Hope since 2020, and thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
So your story is very unique. With your blindness, I'm guessing that your sense of hearing has heightened because of your blindness. So how do you hear differently in your instrumentation, in your gift, because of your blindness?
It's a good question. Music gave me a way to connect in the world, because I couldn't really speak. In fact, I didn't start speaking until I was about 3 years old.
Wow.
So, the fact that I had some way to communicate via music, I just, that really helped. And, I've loved music since I was little. So, and music can really make you feel all different emotions. I hope that answers the question. But
so, and this we didn't cover this on pre-questions, but I'll ask you this because I'm thinking about it even in this.
Yeah.
You have songs like "Stop Fighting" that really convey a clear message. How do you use music as a voice to people about the message that you want to send to the world?
Well, it really depends on the type of song that I'm doing. You mentioned "Stop Fighting." That was really written during the pandemic, back in 2020, and it was, after the current events at the time. George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and everyone else that has unfortunately been killed, and the song also, has elements of, the whole slavery era, with all the stomping and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I wanted to add that in there. And the song basically just says, hey, we don't need all of the bullying and police brutality and everything else that happens, and unfortunately people still today are acting the way they think that they think is good, when in reality it's not good. And there's another song that I wrote that's on that album, Connections. It Will Be Okay. It was literally, I got inspired by watching one of our live streams.
Oh, wow.
I forgot when it was, but it was back in 2020. I after the stream was over, I was on the organ and I started hearing this melody in my head. And I just, I was trying to calm myself down because y'all know, I'm a really energetic person. I love going out and whatnot. But the fact that we couldn't so much because of the pandemic, that I think that really got me and a bunch of people. But I think that song, really was God just saying, hey, no matter what, everything's gonna be okay. And that's one of my favorites to play.
Yeah. So many know you as a musician.
Yeah.
They know your skill set. Tell us about what you're like outside of the music arena. What are some of your hobbies, your pastimes, things you enjoy doing?
Yeah. I'd say one thing that's surprising that people are still, amazed by, I guess, is that I use a lot of technology. And, I always tell people, at the end of the day, we're always trying to achieve the same goal. I do it a bit differently, of course, since I have a disability, but, at the end of the day, I'm reaching the same goal as someone who's sighted, and during the pandemic, I've had the opportunity to work with Apple to help make their products and software more accessible for blind users, and I am still working with them, and I also work with companies that are in the music technology space and make they make products for that can be used in recording software. So I work with them a lot, like Native Instruments, Isotope, Arturia. There's so many, but essentially it's just collaboration. That's one thing I love doing.
Okay.
I love collaborating with different companies.
So tell me about your experience with Apple. I know that you had the opportunity to work with them and then also be in a commercial with them. Yeah,
the greatest. And that was so fun. They flew us out, and that was fun because I was able to at the time test some features that was coming out in the new iOS update at the time, and the fact that they made sure that everyone is being catered for, they have features for just about every disability you could think of, and the fact that they're not afraid to show that, that's truly amazing to me, and when I saw the final video, the final version of it, I was like, wow, they put all that together.
Yeah.
And you can definitely tell, they really it's something that they love doing. You know.
And it caught a lot of attention because it was on some of the major football games as well.
Yeah, that was cool. That was really cool.
Yeah. So, with your experience with Apple, what was the part that you loved the most about testing out the equipment?
I'd say the consistency, going from device to device, and also the fact that they want to improve. The people that I talk to, they really listen to my feedback and whatnot. So I am really glad that I'm able to work with them and a bunch of other people as well.
Yeah. So we see you on the road,
Yeah.
and you have a lot of great opportunities to travel.
Yeah.
When you're traveling, we always see at least one of your parents with you. So talk about how your parents have been a major support system in your journey.
Yeah, since the beginning, they've been my biggest supporters, and I'm grateful and blessed that they are still here. My dad, he's up there in terms of age,
But he doesn't look like it.
Exactly. And he made sure that everything is smooth, is running smoothly. We made sure the equipment is set up, and whatever that we needed to get done in terms of prepping. He made sure that everything is in order. And my mom, she's helped me a lot when it came to doing a lot of stuff with schoolwork, in high school and especially at Julliard as well. And I graduated Julliard last year, so
Congratulations again.
Thank you. I'm grateful.
So talk about the Julliard experience just a little bit. I know that
Yeah,
that was a different experience for you because many would suggest that you didn't need Julliard's experience with your travel schedule, with your gifting, the people that you were exposed to. You had already been on national television, interviews with Steve Harvey, Ellen, and others. Thank you. How was that school experience for you as a person who is traveling that journey but doesn't really need it?
Well, education I feel is important, no matter what. And Julliard, the one thing that I love the most is the collaboration with the different divisions. For example, like with my senior recital, I was able to do a recital where I featured both from the jazz department and the classical department people and students. In fact, there was one person that I had a chance to work with, and they never played in a jazz combo before. So the fact that I was able to make that happen, that was really fun, and I definitely did learn, I would say, a lot, especially when it came to my private piano instructors there. Shout out to everyone. And yeah, just being with the students, it's always fun. It was always fun to hang, and I would say that I still keep in touch with everyone, all the staff and students, and and it's true that I was the first blind person in the jazz department to come on board.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, and because of that, we have another person who's going to be the second person right after me, and him and I grew up together since we were in high school. So
Okay.
so that's true. So I'm going to be helping him out and making sure everything's running smoothly.
So what was it like balancing the schoolwork with road work?
It wasn't that difficult, to be honest. I was really just because of what we were using, I was able to submit everything really easily. We was using a program called Canvas,
Okay.
and which allows you to submit your assignments either online or through the app, and it's really accessible. So it was really easy.
Hmm. Okay. So you're a very encouraging
Thank
person to watch online and even in person.
Thank you.
Your disposition is always one that's very upbeat. If you're not, then something is definitely wrong. How do you overcome challenges personally to make sure that you are always upbeat, encouraging, inspiring to others?
Well, prayer. The first thing, always, before every show, before we do anything, musically, whether it's a show or, even in church, we always pray before anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's the first thing. And, just taking time to make sure that, I'm rested as well. I know it seems like it's simple, but that's one thing. But I just, for me, growing up, when we were trying to find different schools for both my music lessons and also academically, it was challenging because, I think we were traveling to like about 5 or more different stores a lot, and it wasn't until the end of 3rd grade when I found a store that we were all comfortable with. And I went from 4th grade till about my senior year in high school. So and that was in Emerson, New Jersey.
Okay.
Wanted him to getting music lessons at an early age. People was like, oh, we don't know how to teach a blind person, or we forgot how to, or he's too young, or we don't have resources. And it wasn't until I was 5 we found FMDG, and even then, they said, oh, he's too young, but bring him in anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And after the first lesson, they said, hey, we would love to welcome you in, and so I became the youngest at 5 years old to join that. And even to this day, I've experienced, oh, he can't do this because he's blind, or how are you gonna do that?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you have a disability. But hey, let me do it anyway. I've done film story, and I've done music for a musical. I've done, college. I was able to do a lot, and I'm grateful, and I can't wait to see what's next.
You did a piece where you revamped Tomorrow.
Yes,
that was an excellent
from Annie, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So talk about that experience. How did that happen?
Yeah. So it was a part of a documentary that I was a part of, and the documentary was about goals I wanted to accomplish before my 21st birthday. And so one of the mentors, Michael McElroy, we were shooting for documentary, and one of the goals that I wanted to do was more arranging, especially when it comes to arranging for vocals. And he said, take any Broadway song that and you can do whatever you want. You can jazz it up, you can gospel it, you can do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did. So I went home, I did the arrangement, I sent it to him. him and I worked on the vocal parts. I did all the instruments and stuff like that, and we did. We did the taping for it, and now it's on the Stevie Wonder show, and we also have it released on Michael's YouTube channel, and we also that's one I would love to release at some point as well, so everyone else can hear it on different platforms and stuff like that. So hopefully we can make that happen.
Yeah. Now I was there when they did the performance.
You were there, yeah.
Yeah. I was blown away.
Thank you.
By how you arranged the vocal parts, the musical parts. I mean, it was just incredible to watch and see you in your element with all of the different pieces coming together. You had an experience where you were overseas working with a large orchestra.
Yeah, that was virtual.
Talk about that experience.
Yeah, so again, it was a part of the same documentary, and the mentor, John Califer, he wanted to see just compose an orchestral piece with what I have. With my setup and, all the sounds I have to work with. So I think I did it in, I want to say 2 days, I think. So okay. I did the first section in one day, and then the next day I finished the second half of it. What happened was we was able to watch the process happen in real time all the way in Bulgaria. So we was able to hear everything, and they recorded, and me and John worked together to get the sheet music and all that stuff. He was able to essentially take my parts that I had done and convert them to sheet music.
Okay.
So, and that was really fun. I want to do that again. I would love to do that again. Yeah.
So you have the jazz side definitely down, and then you're also working in the gospel side. So talk about how you being in music ministry has also played a vital part in your development and how you've worked in your gift.
Well, I would say, all that really started, when, if you don't mind, when Pastor Manning was here, who was our previous pastor, and if it wasn't for her, I don't know, what I would be doing, but I would say, because we when I was growing up, we had an organ on the Sunday store side of the church, and I would always play that at the end of service, and Mom and Dad was like, "No, don't play that. We're tired. We don't. We had enough. It's time to go home." But Pastor Manning was like, "Hey, let him stay up there. Let him play." So, and eventually, when I think I was a 7, I would start playing drums on when we used to have Youth Sunday. Every third Sunday I was on drums. Then I would sub for our organist when he couldn't make it, and then I'd be back on drums. And then for different choirs, we had the mass choir, the men's chorus, and eventually Pastor Manning was like, "Hey, I would love for you to be the new organist." Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Wow."
And how old were you then?
I would say, I don't know, like 10, 11? I don't know. Really young. I would say 10 or 11, I think.
Okay. And
then, I was a part of, I don't know if you remember this, but we had our Impact 21 classes back in 2020, and we had our spiritual gifts, where we took a survey, right? And at the end of the survey, you could see where you landed on the charts and stuff like that. So I think mine was like ministry and praise and worship, exaltation, and music, and all that. And each person had a project and a mentor to help them out with that project. And I think you was the one that suggested I try being minister of music for a short period of time and see how that worked out. And shout out to Reverend Trinity Massey. He was my mentor, and I always love working with him. He's always, it's always fun when he comes to our church. But he mentored me, and he really he really gave me a strong foundation, and that's something important, I feel. When I was growing up, being in church and taking classical piano lessons, I feel really gave me a strong foundation for everything else that I do musically, because classical music really works on your technique, and you get a chance to experience different classical artists, and gospel music, it really has every style, literally every style in one. And so between those two experiences, I really have a strong foundation. But anyway, I did try out minister of music, and I think it was in September of 2020 when you asked how it was going, and I was like, I love it. Yeah. So, and I've been minister of music ever since. And I would say it's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure working with everybody on the team, and I'm always learning a lot each time, and it's always a joy, and to serve every Sunday.
And even watching you grow, I remember when I first came, and even when you started as minister of music, you would play only.
Play only. Yep. I would just play and talk. In fact, just
and then you started singing here and there, but it was like pulling teeth to get you to sing.
My goodness.
Now you have blossomed and evolved into more than just the playing element. You'll sing, you'll worship lead, you'll exhort. It's really a gift to see how you've evolved into your comfort level and your gift.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
So how do you feel like your life has given you purpose? Like what you've been through in life, how do you think that's birthed your purpose and your destiny?
Well, that's a good question. I would say, from when I was born, God has been there since the beginning. I mean, he let me live to do what I love to do, and you know, I'm grateful for that. And you know, I also love the fact that I'm able to inspire and bring joy to others, whether it's in church or outside of church or in shows, and you know, so yeah, I think that's how I would answer that.
Yeah. All right, so last question. You've had the experiences of a lifetime. One of them is that, and I'm going to try to find the video and put it on here.
Okay.
You had the opportunity to play with Stevie Wonder a few months ago.
Yeah.
Talk about that experience.
Yeah. I met Stevie when I was about 10 years old.
Okay.
It was at the Apollo Theater. I was opening for him when he was being inducted into the Hall of Fame at the Apollo. And I met him in his dressing room. And ever since then, you know, I've wanted to, you know, play with him and see him again. And I had the opportunity to see him last year when I went to the NAMM show. And we was able to chat for a little bit. And then this year, a few months ago, we was actually able to play together on stage. And it was me, him, and a bunch of other blind musicians on stage as well. So we were all on stage just jamming together. And it was so fun. And, you know, I hope we get an opportunity to collaborate even more.
There is substitution. Watch your face and name. Rid me of the problem. Do all that you can.
Yeah. So what was the experience like? Did you know that you were going to be playing, or was it just...
I knew I was going to be playing, but I think what happened was I was told that Stevie might show up, but you know, and I was, you know, hoping that that would happen because I really wanted to see him, and what happened was we was playing, and then I had to go to another stage to get ready to perform on that, but they wasn't ready for me at the time. And so then what happened was we got a call from the person that was in charge, and he was like, hey, come back if you can. Stevie is on stage. So we coming back, it's crowded, and you know, next thing you know, I'm up on stage jamming with Stevie. You know, so I mean, and you know, I think that was God's timing.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, had stuff, like had things, you know, gone smoothly at that other stage, and I was able to perform there, I think I would have missed that opportunity. You know.
Yeah. Opportunities of a lifetime.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So any final words you want to give with our guests, especially those who may be watching who are in music,
Yes.
some who may be trying to defy the odds like you have,
Yes.
or starting to go into a career path in music and may be young. Give them some advice.
Yeah, definitely. I always tell people, you know, don't let anyone tell you you can't do something. Follow your dreams. Always have fun and just be you. Just be you. Have fun.
All right, Matthew Whitaker, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Real with Ross and ministry leaders. Candid conversation for spiritual teachers. The Real with Ross and ministry leaders. Candid conversation with spiritual teachers. The Real with Ross and ministry leaders. Candid conversation for spiritual teachers. The Real with Ross and ministry leaders. Candid conversation for spiritual teachers.
The Real with Ross now.